Hi everyone, it's Natalie. Tonight I'm going to be coloring a picture of a giraffe that I drew ahead of time. This giraffe, I just found a picture of a standard giraffe on Google Images and I sketched it out. So if you want to see an example of what it looks like, just search giraffe on Google Images and you can find an example. I know you guys always ask about the reference pictures that I use. As always, I'll be using Prismacolor colored pencils to do this. These are my favorite colored pencils. You can get them at places such as Hobby Lobby, Michaels, and on Amazon. However, if you go to Hobby Lobby and Michaels, make sure you check their website for a 40% off coupon because they always have those and you'll save a lot of money when purchasing art supplies. Another announcement I want to make is that I've begun to create coloring pages for you guys. And you can see these coloring pages on Kids Activities blog. I put a link to that in this video's description. Right now I have coloring pages of bees and I have one of a tiger live for you guys. So you can print those and color them for yourself. They're based off of the bee and tiger drawings I've done previously, plus a bonus bee drawing that you guys can print and color for yourselves. I hope you like them. Stay tuned on Kids Activities blog for more coloring pages because I'm making lots of them. They just won't be posted all at once because it's good that they're spread out. So I hope you guys enjoy coloring those. On the other hand, here, back to the giraffe, I'll begin coloring. And I'm going to start with coloring in the eyes, and I'll start with my black Prismacolor pencil. Hold on, let me get my sharpener. Oh, by the way, I thought this would be something fun to show you, but this is what I keep a lot of my art supplies in. This is a Kipling pencil box, and it's really nice because I can put all my pencils in these little hoops, and I can store my markers and pens, erasers, tape, things like that. I thought I'd show you guys because I really love it. And it comes with this adorable little monkey. So let's begin. We're going to start by coloring in the eyes. The one thing you'll notice about giraffes that I think is really cool is the fact that giraffes have really pretty eyelashes. And after I color in this part of the eye, I'll color in the eyelashes with some browns and make them really noticeable because I think it's a key feature of the giraffe's face. I'm also going to use a little bit of brown around the edge of the eye right here. Just give it some color. I know the brown may not be noticeable to you guys on the video because the video somewhat distorts the quality of the picture, but there's a little brown here, and if you saw it in person you can definitely see that it makes a difference and adds some color to the giraffe's eyes. So for the giraffe's eyelashes, I'm starting with a light brown color because this is a color that will shine through with the lighting, and I'll be adding darker colors. Again, I really want to put emphasis on the giraffe's eyelashes because it's a key feature on their face. And I think that they're really pretty. It's kind of cute. I think that the expression on a giraffe's eyes is kind of cute. What do you guys think about giraffes? Have you ever been to one of those zoos that let you feed the giraffes? I know that there's one nearby. I think it's either Dallas or Fort Worth. One of those zoos lets you do it. I don't remember them. Kia, I decided on the giraffe because I was just thinking of an animal that I wanted to draw tonight, because I was thinking I definitely want to draw an animal, so I just sat for a moment, thought of some animals that would be fun to draw, and I thought of giraffes, and I was like, okay, that would be a lot of fun. I know that in previous videos I've said to you guys that if you have ideas, please leave them, because who knows, I might draw it one time. Every time that you leave a comment and I read it of an animal or something, it puts it into my memory and I'm more likely to think of it on a future date. So I mean, I can't remember the names of anyone that requests this stuff, but you might see it, and props to you if you've suggested giraffes in the past. I don't really remember seeing any comments that said giraffes, but if you did, that's cool. And I'm also going to take the black to color in the nostrils of the giraffe. And I'm going to begin on coloring the area around the giraffe's eyes, and then I'll work out from there. That's what I typically do on all the videos of animals I draw. I always color the eyes first, and then sometimes I go to the nostrils once I have the black out. But then I just move outwards from the eyes. The giraffe has a little bit of a black spot beneath and above its eyes. So that's what I'm coloring right now. Oh, and if you guys have comments, questions, please feel free to ask them. I'll try to read and answer whatever I can. Just know that I can't see all the comments on the screen because they fly off rather quickly and only 5 are displayed at a time. And I'm not looking 100% of the time since I have to focus on drawing this picture. So hopefully I'll get to your guys' comments, and remember, if you really need to ask me something, send me a direct message on Instagram and I'll get back with you. And by the way, you guys should totally go follow my Instagram. The link to that is in the video's description. And if you missed what I said earlier because you came in late, that's okay, but I'm starting to make coloring pages for you guys that you can download and print for free. There's 2 different ones live on Kids Activities blog. I left a link to that in the video's description. The link is to the bees, but you can find the tiger on the website as well. These you can download and print. I made them based off of previous live colorings that I've done, so if you'd like, you can print them and then watch the live videos I made if you want a little bit of help coloring the pictures. The pictures are all lined, so it's easy for kids to color, especially younger children. Or if you'd like, you can even like trace the pictures so you only have the pencil marks like I always start my drawings with, so you can erase them as you go and you won't have black lines everywhere. But the coloring pages are perfect for anyone, any age. It's just a fun afternoon activity to sit down and color, and I encourage you guys to go print those. Like I said, the link is in the video's description. Oh, and the bees and the tiger, those aren't the only coloring pages. I have more being made, and you'll see them in the future, so stay tuned on that blog. Jamie, the link to the coloring pages, it's in the video's description. Right now I'm just using this brown to create some of the spots and hair coloring on the giraffe. This will all be tied together with a lighter color that's more like a creamy color, almost like a light cream or an eggshell. Let me find what that color actually is. Oh, it's ginger root. This is actually the same color that I used to color in the cheetah's fur on Friday's video. If you guys didn't see that, you can go to the videos page on this Quirky Mama Facebook page. Well, it's a videos tab, and from there you can scroll down, and you might have to scroll for just a little bit, but you should find Friday's video of a cheetah if you'd like to watch that. Shayna, this is ginger root. The numbers right here if you want to see it. I noticed that Prismacolors, they were numbered. I never really use numbers to search for Prismacolors really because there aren't as many Prismacolors as there are Copics. I know with Copic markers, every marker has a number, and that's how I've always identified them. I never really identified them by color name. It's interesting because with Copics, I identify them by color, the number, whereas Prismacolors I identify by the name. Vivian, some tips on keeping your pencil markings from smearing into your light colors. First of all, if you're doing what I'm doing where you have pencil drawn and then you color on top of it, always try to erase the pencil before you color on it. That's probably the best way to help prevent it, but a lot of times there's a lot of fine details where you do need the guidance of the pencil markings. So in that case, it's really difficult, but once you color over the pencil marking, you can't really erase it, so you can kind of have it controlled, I guess, if you color over it, and it won't be able to smear. But like I said, just try to erase things as you go. Unfortunately, once you cover it up, you can't really undo it. So I forget to do it a lot of times because I'm really into coloring and I don't think about the pencil that's below it. So, like, hold on. There's another thing I want to show you guys. It has to do with this somewhat. Whenever you make a slight mistake that you think can be fixed somewhat by lightening the colors, you can use a gum eraser with Prismacolors, spelled G-U-M. You can find these at craft stores, most places. I don't even know where I got this one, but I know I see them at craft stores. I probably found this one like in a drawer in art class or something. But anyways, it has two purposes. One, it can lighten colors, especially lighter colors. It can somewhat remove the pigment from the page slightly, but you can also use it to blend colors with each other that are really difficult to blend otherwise. It's really convenient whenever you're blending colors like blacks with other things, because black is really difficult to blend, especially with lighter colors. And if you make a mess with it, like the colors just aren't blending, it's not working out for you, then just run over it with this and you can blend it together and make it a little bit more smooth. Oh, for those of you who missed that, this is a gum eraser spelled G-U-M. They don't work very well with graphite from my experiences, but it can be used as a blender with Prismacolors. For those of you who came in late, an announcement that I recently made, well, at the beginning of the video anyways, I've made some coloring pages for you guys to download and print for free. The link to it is in the video's description. I link the bee coloring pages that I made. They're based off of a live drawing that I did in the very beginning whenever I started doing this. It's on Kids Activities blog, and there will be plenty more coloring pages coming your way, so stay tuned there. I really hope that you guys enjoy coloring them. I worked really hard, excuse me, I worked really hard on them, and I made them just for you guys. It's perfect for like anyone really, because like little kids could color it easily because there's lines that they can follow. But for adults or like people who want to do more realistic shading, feel free to trace them and like with pencil, and then erase the pencil lines as you color, like I do in my videos. I mean, I don't trace, but I do the coloring and then I erase the pencils. You can do that, but it's just good coloring practice because I think that you can learn a lot about drawing through coloring, because whenever you color, you get to see how 3D objects are formed, and that can help you create shapes and make decisions whenever you're trying to draw shapes, because you understand how the coloring works and makes it a 3D object. So coloring can be really helpful, and I made coloring pages for you guys. Again, they're linked in the video's description, so please check them out. Felicia, I use Prismacolor colored pencils, and to anyone else that missed it because they came in late, these are Prismacolor colored pencils. They blend really well with each other. I enjoy them, and they're my favorite. You can get them at places like Hobby Lobby, Michaels, and even on Amazon. But if you go to Hobby Lobby and Michaels, make sure you check their website for a 40% off any item in the store coupon. This coupon applies to Prismacolors and will save you a lot of money whenever you're purchasing them. So I strongly recommend that. I don't think I mentioned it in this video yet, but this is Tone Gray paper by Strathmore. I prefer this paper whenever I'm coloring with Prismacolors because it really makes the color pop, and the natural gray background goes really well with just about anything. And the paper is slightly thicker than regular paper. It's closer to cardstock than it is printer paper, so Coloring on it is really easy. I enjoy it a lot, and if you guys haven't tried it, I strongly recommend that you do, because I think you'll be amazed at how cool this paper is. And whenever you use white on the paper, it really pops and it looks really cool. And just the natural gray background is also different from just a regular white printer paper, or like as color. I mean, they have tons of different papers that are colored white, but it's just something that's different and it's really cool. Actually, I erase my lines before I color, because if I don't, sometimes the pencil will smear in with the lighter colors and become trapped underneath it, and I can't erase it at that point. So I did that because I don't really want the pencil lines there in the finished product. So like I said, it's just to prevent it from smudging and like creating unwanted lines. The reason why I'm drawing these lines right here is because the giraffes, their eyes, they have these skin folds above them that moves the skin that's near their forehead, and I'm using lines to illustrate it. I'll further shade them, but right now I'm just putting down some base lines for that. To all of you in the comments, because I see a lot of you guys asking, I am using a reference picture for this giraffe because I've never drawn a giraffe before, so seeing a reference picture is a huge help. This picture I just found with a quick Google search of giraffes, and I searched giraffe's face because if I just searched giraffe, it would bring me a full body, which would be too much detail to put onto one page, and plus since the head would be so small on that, I couldn't add so much detail. So I just searched giraffe's face on Google Images, and I just found a generic picture of a giraffe. If you want to see the exact picture I'm looking at, just do a quick Google search yourself and find the giraffe that matches this pose. The reason why I never really post my reference photos here is because I personally think that the reference photo doesn't matter as much. I mean, the reference photo is basically just for color and positioning, but other than that, I do take some liberties on where I put like certain stripes or what colors I use. I mean, I do look at the picture to see basic colors, but I also just use my own memory of knowing like how to shade and color whenever I create the giraffe. You know, you never understand how much detail is in something until you actually draw it. Before I've never known that the giraffe's faces were so complex. Like there's so many different muscles going on in their face, and their bone structure is really unique. So like I'm kind of amazed right now at how detailed giraffes can be. And like as an artist, it's somewhat difficult to capture all that detail, especially in an hour-long period. Oh, and for all of you guys that came in late, I'm coloring a giraffe with Prismacolor colored pencils on Strathmore toned gray paper. You can get both of these products at places like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and you can also get it on Amazon. I'm really excited to tell you guys that I made coloring pages that you can download and print for free. The link to the coloring pages is in the video's description. You can find it. It's on Kids Activities blog. I also have a tiger coloring page live on the website. I only link the bees though, but if you just search coloring pages, or you can search tiger coloring page, you can easily find the tiger that you can print and color. It's a perfect activity for both kids and adults. Coloring is really calming, and for those of you who want to learn how to draw and color better, it's great coloring practice. And plus, you learn a lot about drawing whenever you color, because you get to see how the shape or the lines interact with the shading to create 3D shapes, and that can somewhat give you a different perspective on making decisions whenever drawing, to understand how like a face curves and how you can color that and things like that. It just helps you understand how to make things 3D and realistic. So coloring can definitely help with that. Again, the coloring pages, the link to it is in the video's description, so please check them out. And I'll have plenty more coming as well. However, they all won't be posted at once, they'll be spaced out a bit, so keep checking online there. And as new ones are available on the website, I'll link them in my videos that I'm making. Keep in mind that unfortunately next week I will not be making videos for you guys because I'll be in Denver, Colorado for a school conference. I'm really excited to go to this. I got a scholarship to go, but I won't be making videos unfortunately, but I'll be back the week after that to resume videos. In the meantime, you guys can color some coloring pages that are on the website. Like I said, check those out. Leo, yes, I do draw daily, especially during the summer. Sometimes during the school year it's a little difficult to put in a daily draw. Daily. During the summer I've definitely drawn every day because I have the time for it, and plus I'm making these videos for you guys, and I'm also making coloring pages now, so I have plenty of time to draw during the summer. I guess like all the time I spend drawing during the summer makes up for some of the lost time during the school year. Like I said, schoolwork does get a little crazy, and I expect not to draw too much during the school year for this upcoming year because it's my senior year, and this semester I'll be applying to college, and I have all these other things going on, so I'll be a little bit busy, but hopefully I can find some time to color. A lot of times I find that coloring can really help me get through stress, so that's from like school or things like that, because coloring is very relaxing, and so is drawing. I have a sketchbook that I work in all the time, and I do take an art class at school, so I definitely get to draw during that block. But I can say that a couple of times in art class I've done like homework for some of my other classes and stuff like that, but it's okay. I think I get plenty of time to draw during the summer, and on weekends, of course. Right now I'm using the gum eraser that I showed you guys earlier to blend in these brown patches on the giraffe. This way I don't have to put layer after layer after layer of brown. I can just do one layer and then blend it over the paper. It's really convenient. I think it helps save pencil as well, because you're not using as much of it. Like for example, if you color lightly on one area, you can still see a lot of the paper beneath it. But once you blend it over it, you won't see any of the paper leaking from beneath. A tip for coloring with pencils, if you have a big area that you want to color, if you hold your pencil to where this part is almost flat on the table, you can color in a larger area at once. It's really helpful for things like this where coloring with the very tip may take a long time. And keep in mind, whenever you blend with one of these erasers, the pigment does transfer over to the eraser. So if you're using it for something else, make sure you clean it off first, because you might be in for a little surprise if you blend this over white or light color and you have something like red or green there. Just a warning, make sure you guys don't accidentally mess up something and do something that you didn't intend to do, because I know that that can be really annoying, especially if you have like one thing that always happens to me is my pencil eraser on my mechanical pencil, it'll be coated in pencil lead and I'll go to erase something lightly, but surprise, there's a lot of graphite already on it and it smears everything, and it's so annoying. But just always check your erasers. Janelle, I have a 48 count set of Prismacolor pencils, so there's 48 different colors. I think I might have a couple others just laying around loosely, but this is the 48 that I use. It comes in a tin that looks like this. It just says 48 count, and each color is different. Leo, I do make art with other mediums. Some things I use ink markers, like Copic markers. Those I find really useful and enjoyable to work with. Right now I'm doing a lot more painting than I used to in the past. If you guys want to see examples of my work with any of the things I'm talking about right now, check out my Instagram. I have tons of pictures posted of my recent artwork. You can see different things like ink and paint, pencil, stuff like that. The link to my Instagram is in the video's description, so I hope you guys check that out. Debbie, if your video isn't working, try refreshing the page or exiting and rejoining. I know that sometimes loading videos is really difficult because it does take a lot to load a video. It takes up a lot of bandwidth, and if many people in your household are doing the same, it may be even more difficult. But just know that if you're missing anything now due to your video not working, you can always come back later once I finish the live stream and watch everything again, or just go to the parts that you missed if you'd like. I'm sorry that your video is not working, but it happens sometimes. The internet can be pretty faulty. Jane, yes, that is hair on the back of the neck, and I was just about to color it. Just want to erase the pencil first, and then use my colors. For this, I'm just making little quick wispy lines that imitate the look of hair. And of course I start it where the neck is and I go outwards. And I won't just be using this color, I'll come in with like 1 or 2 different colors to give it some shading and make it more than just a solid chunk of hair. Someone asks, how can I find the paper and the colors? You can find the paper and the colors, which is Strathmore tone gray paper and Prismacolor colored pencils. You can find both of these things at places like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and you can also get them on Amazon. If you go to Hobby Lobby and Michael's, make sure you go on their websites to look for 40% off any item in the store coupons, because they always have those, and you'll save a lot of money whenever you're purchasing art supplies. Like, I can't go into one of those stores without a coupon. I just always have to have it because you save so much with the coupon. Like, the best way to go is to go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's with the 40% off coupon, and then also like look at their clearance aisles, because you'll find a lot of really good things there. Giraffes, they have what appears to be like just really stringy hairs on their snout, almost kind of like whiskers, but it's all over this place. So I'm going to illustrate that by taking the tip of my dark brown pencil and just making quick little wispy movements to draw those little hairs. Well, it's one thing that can really enhance your pictures no matter what you're drawing. Like if it's an animal or something, the the animal or person that you're drawing has like stringy hairs or hairs that are loose or things like that, just by illustrating those you can enhance the picture so much more. Whenever I'm working on pictures of people with hair, I always make sure I add like the loose hairs that fly away, because it really enhances the picture and makes it more natural looking. And it looks really nice, honestly, because I mean, and besides, like, who can keep all their hairs in one place? Like, why not just embrace the fact that our hairs fly everywhere and they do look kind of cool, and it adds more detail. Oh, one thing I forgot to do, I always do this at the beginning, I don't know why I forgot, but for the eyes I always use white paint to add a reflection. I just use normal acrylic white paint to paint little reflections, and I use a really thin brush, and with that I just put like a few little dots or lines on the eyes. This just helps enhance the piece. It's a lot of fun to do because just like a few little dots of white can really make a picture pop. I don't know why I waited for this long. I usually do it right after I finish coloring in the eyes initially, but I'm doing it right now, and I'll also use the paint to help illustrate the little ear fluffs that this giraffe has. The ear fluffs, it's really difficult to draw because here you have stringy white pieces of hair on top of something that's black in the background, so it's really hard to make it look clean. So I can help get around that by using white acrylic paint. I love using white acrylic paint with colored pencils because things like this that's difficult to do, I can easily fix it by just using some paint. Another thing, here's a tip for like artists that are learning or you want to experiment with new things. Like, make sure you explore different mediums and like use things together. Like, if you're coloring colored pencils, don't just stick to colored pencils. Try to use different things. Use paint, use ink, use other things. Like, never limit yourself to just one thing. In fact, most of the pictures I make on my own, well, except for paintings, because paintings are almost exclusively paint, but most of the drawings I do are mixed media, which means that I use multiple medias to create it. Like, I'll use ink and pencil and paint just to get the most out of it. Like, for example, ink is really good for coloring and blending, whereas colored pencils are really good for fine details like hairs and eyes. And then on the other hand, paint is really good for adding reflections and details that are in white, or details that are really hard to get. But yeah, just don't be afraid to mix things together, and you may find something that you really like. Okay, so I'd say that I'm done with this giraffe right now. To all of you guys in the comments, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy your guys' comments and questions. I love answering them for you, and if you can learn something from it, I'm really excited to help teach you something. A few other things, if you missed it earlier in the video, this is Strathmore tone gray paper with Prismacolor colored pencils. I also made coloring pictures for you guys to download and print for free. The link to that is in the video's description. It's on Kids Activities blog, where you can find a bunch of other things on there that has to do with like fun kids activities. I mean, it's in the name, but there's coloring pages on there that I made. I linked you guys some of the bees that I made for you guys to print. There's also a tiger coloring page which you can search for. Keep checking back on that page for more coloring pages that I made, because they'll be coming out soon. I made a bunch already and I'm making more. However, they're not all going to be posted at once. But again, keep checking back. Next week I won't have any videos because I'll be away, but after that I'll be back and making videos. So while I'm gone, please download and print those coloring pages. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and bye. Good night.